Okay, what's up guys? I'm gonna try and make this video really quick. This is a tutorial on how to use Anki. Okay, so let's get through it. So the first thing is, how do you sync? Now, it's important to sync because it allows you from technology to technology to update your flashcards because it doesn't automatically update. So what you do is you press sync. Well, for me, it presses sync and automatically does that because I already made an account. But usually, if you're new to Anki, if you press sync, it would ask you to put your details and your password. If you don't have that already, then you go on Anki Web, you make your own account, and then the same details you put into the sync details. Okay, that's sync done. How do you make a deck? So on the bottom it says create deck over here. Right, I'm going to call this example one. Okay, so we already have another one that's called example one. Let's just delete that. Okay, and we have example over here. Okay, so what we do is we made a deck. Okay, and if we want to make a sub deck, we make another deck, and let's call that sub deck. Okay, let's add this sub deck inside the deck by just dragging it. We can open and close the example to see the subdeck. Okay, now if we want to create flashcards, what we do is we press add. If you go on type, it should automatically, without even me doing this, I'm just doing this because I practice for this video, it should give you this already. When you press add, it should give you this automatically. Okay, now with this, the front and back, this is pretty simple. This is the front, it's like the question, and this is the back. Okay, and now if I place this and I study now, I get high and we get the back. Okay, this is usually in a normal flashcard. The front is the thing, the question, and the back is what your answer is. Okay, now you can change what you want to put. If you understand the back, you can put good or easy. If you don't understand, you can go again. Now there is shortcuts to it. You can press 1 for again, 2 for hard, 3 for good, right? And then 4 for really good or whatever it was called. Okay, now let's add another card. There's a different type of card. Okay, we don't worry about basic and all this. Basic type in answer, that's pretty basic. It's pretty obvious how you would use that. Cloze. Okay, what is cloze? Cloze is basically where it tells you to fill in the blank. So let's say hello. My name is, all right, and I like pizza. Okay, how am I gonna put close? Well, look, there's a new setting that just came in. Before we didn't have that. When we had basic, these settings weren't there, they didn't exist. Now we have close, new settings have popped up, and these are this. All right, we put that in and we should get C1. Now after the two dots, this is where you put your thing. So my name is Yaya. Yes, subscribe. Okay. All right, we put that. What happens is when we get this card, I can say, well, hello, my name is Yaya, that's who I am. And you can press this, and of course 4 for easy, right? And that was pretty easy to do. Okay, now I can sync this to everything. It should turn blue if you studied flashcards. Okay, and now one last thing, image occlusion, right? A lot of people get confused. What is image occlusion? Image occlusion is basically where you cover the card. Now if I pull up something like a picture or something, let's say the Calvin cycle. Okay, let's do this A-level biology so people in my class can understand. We have this. Okay, now you can copy, and then if you put paste image from clipboard, we can get it automatically here. Now we're given this setting. Don't be scared about this setting. It's pretty simple. Okay, we got a box if we want to make it a box. All right, you want to delete, you can press the bin button. Okay, we got the circle, we can put the circle over here if you want to delete bin button. This one, don't be frightened by it. We can make it anything, we can make it any shape we want, right? And it will just turn to that as long as you go back to the red and it forms any shape you want. Okay, you can press Control Z to go back. Okay, and if you want to fill in anything, if you want to fill in a box, I believe we can fill it in through this. Okay, so this is how you use image occlusion. Now if I cover up Rubisco over here for the enzyme, now once I added that, okay, we can get out from that and we can study that. Okay, I don't know what this is, so let's check it. We press space to show the answer. Rubisco. Okay, that was pretty easy, so I'll put 3. So I'll put good. For 3 is good. is good. Okay, so that is how you use the subdecks. Now it's pretty obvious how you add flashcards. You just press add. If you want to browse for flashcards, all right, this is where you browse. This is for the flashcards that I use. You can check your buried. I can go deeper into that. Things that you say you didn't cover yet, or you're quite confused, or they're quite large. You can bury them and look after them later when you're in a better state, I guess. Sometimes suspended, you don't need to worry about that. Review, you don't really need to know about that. New, these are just flashcards that are pretty new. Okay, right. So we know how to create decks, subdecks, how to add image occlusion, close, and basic. Okay, so those are the main parts. These are the main things you need to know about. Okay, now we're going to go into simple settings. Okay, if you want to do dark mode, okay, dark mode is pretty simple. Where you go to is tools, or I believe it's tools, preferences, and you get theme over here. You can put follow system, light, which is the same thing, or dark. Okay, user interface, we can change that to make it slightly larger. Okay, but that only happens when we restart Anki. Okay, you may notice there's a heat map. If you download Anki for the first time, heat map will come up. If you go on Anki web and you look at the add-ons, you will get a heat map. I'll show you how to get it right now. So if we go on Anki web heat map, what you will receive if you go on the first button, you will scroll down and you will get this code. Copy it. You go on tools, add-ons, get add-ons, and you put this code, right? And you press OK. So you just paste in this code. And you press OK, you get off Anki and you go back into it. Okay, that's how you add an add-on. My favorite add-on is Heatmap and Pokemon. And it's called Ankimon, actually. And yeah. Okay, so simple settings now. So that's dark mode and those are add-ons. Now we get into settings. To get into settings for your card, we go on the cogwheel and we go on options. Okay? On the options, we'll be presented with these settings. A majority of them you do not need to worry about. Burying, audio, timers, new card, lapses, auto advanced, display order, easy days. I'll explain what this is later. Advanced, you don't need to worry about them. Okay? This is how many cards so you're going to be given each day. So for me personally, I only do 20 flashcards a day, 20 new flashcards. So those are the blue part, right? You got the blue part which are new, and then you got the red part which you're learning currently, and you got the green part which is the ones that you learn, and you're going to do them today because you did them yesterday. So like how memory curve and things like that, that's how it works. Anyways, so we got the new cards and limits. If you want to change this maybe to 50 to 30, if you want to do way more, if you want to do like 10,000 for example, of course 9,999 will be the limit. We can press save. These are the total flashcards I actually have. So 779 I need to learn over the course of a year now. But you can change that, of course. Now I'm going to go back to my 20. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to save that. Okay, now I'm going to show you what the rest are. Okay, this is how you rename things, by the way, but you already probably know that if you go up here. So options, okay, new cards and days, maximum reviews. Reviews is basically, that green section is the ones that you reviewed, the cards that you've done, but you're going to do them again so it can really stick in your head. Those you can put a maximum, but I wouldn't really touch that because you're not going to really do anything over 300. It's going to take a really long time. I wouldn't recommend it. So FSRS. A lot of people get confused with FSRS. What is FSRS? FSRS is basically, if you're a beginner, you do not need to worry about this. But if, say you've done 10,000 or 5,000 or over 1,000 flashcards, I would say FSRS will be pretty useful, because what FSRS is basically, it's kind of a technology. It uses your statistics, because what Anki does is it measures how long you've been on a flashcard. If you find it pretty hard, if you every time you put in again or try again or things like that, it will calculate that, and it uses a calculator to determine what is the best time for you to use a card. But this might sound good, but I would definitely and I say this right now, would definitely not recommend this if you've done under 1,000, because what this does is if you say put good twice, the next card you will put that you will use in like say a deck, and it was like about photosynthesis. If I put it good twice, the next time it's gonna set it for me is maybe 2, 3, maybe even a year, and you don't want that. Maximum you maybe want like a month or like 2 weeks, right? You don't want that. So I would always keep this off unless you feel confident that you've got a lot of flashcards done. Then you can use that. But I still wouldn't recommend it if you're still making new flashcards. Okay, so that's FSRS. I think that's pretty much it. So what we've covered right now is how to sync, how to make decks, how to add, basic and close. Okay, we got image occlusion, dark mode, settings, and add-ons. Those are the main things you need to worry about. If you want to export, one last thing, export, just press export over here. Don't include media, that just includes all the cards you've already done. It just shows the empty without the due part. Okay, and this is pretty much how you use Anki, and hopefully that works out. So yeah.